On today's witch hunt, we're making Jack Skellington caramel apples and witch fingers. Stick around! Halloween is right around the corner, so today I thought I would show you how to make two of my favorite Halloween party treats, witch fingers and white chocolate covered caramel coated Jack Skellington apples. They're both super easy to make, I promise. With just a few ingredients and a few tools, you can be a great party host at your next Halloween party. So without further ado, let's get started. First you'll need a baking sheet, some parchment paper, some pretzel sticks, some white chocolate, and a plastic container for melting it in, sliced almonds, green food coloring, and a pair of scissors. Cut a sheet of parchment paper about the length and width of your baking sheet and lay it on top. Go ahead and open up your bag of pretzel rods and take out the most whole pieces you can find. Take out about 12 to 16, however many you want to make. Leave the short ones in the bag. Now you're going to take out some sliced almonds, about 12 to 16 as well, because these are going to be the fingernails for each of your witch fingers. I usually take out a bunch so I can sift through them and find the best ones. Try to find one that looks like a nail. Trim the sides to form a point if you want them a little bit more sharp. You want those claws on the witch fingers. Set those aside, then take your white chocolate. You can use discs that are for melting, or you can use actual white chocolate chips. Put about a tablespoon of coconut oil into it, which will help thin it out. And then put it in the microwave on very low setting. This is important as you don't want to burn your white chocolate. I like to take it out after about a minute. Stir it up and see how much it still needs to go, then put it back in the microwave. This lets me make sure that nothing is burning and everything is melting smoothly. Add some green food coloring and stir it up, adding more if necessary if you want it a nice deep green. Once your color's all blended in, now the fun begins. Tilt the container and dip your pretzel rods one at a time, coating it, and then scrape it along the edge to get off the excess and lay it right on top of that parchment paper. Do the same for the next pretzel rods. Go ahead and scrape and lay it back down. I usually coat about 5 or 6 of them before pausing and going back and laying the fingernail on top of the white chocolate before it has a chance to set. This way they stick nice and good. I have a second tray going because I got a lot of people coming over, so I'm doing the same for these. White chocolate and pretzels, yummy. Did you think you were done? Not quite. Now comes the fun part, putting in some of the details. Put one of your fingers next to the pretzel so you can see where the knuckles go. Then take a toothpick or a skewer and draw the knuckle and wrinkle lines into the witch fingers. Alright, it's time to pop these in the fridge. 10 to 15 minutes should do the trick. When they're done, take them out, put them on the counter, and now transfer them to a serving plate. Another attractive way of displaying them is setting them upright inside of a candy jar or a cup. You can add a little bit of green glitter if you like, or even a few drops of blood if you're gory, but I like mine plain. Alright, let's move on to the Jack Skellington caramel apples. For this, you're going to need some small size apples. Macintosh are perfect, about 12 of them, some coconut oil, your white chocolate chips or discs again, a plastic piping bag with a number 3 tip, some sticks or twigs from your spooky forest, some black gel food coloring, meringue powder that you can find at any cake supply store, confectioner sugar, and caramel squares. Begin by unwrapping the caramel squares and putting them inside of a small saucepan. Put it on a very low setting and add a little bit of water. Break your twigs into 12 8 to 10 inch pieces. Don't forget to check your caramels on the stove to see how they're doing. Now you're going to take your apples and twist off the stems. Then you're going to take the sticks and wedge them into the tops of the apples for handles. Don't forget to check that caramel on the stove. It should be melting nice and slowly. Once that caramel is nice and melted, transfer it over, give it a stir to make sure there's no lumps, and then you're going to want to check for consistency. Not too thick, you should be able to stir it, but not too thin that it's too runny. You want it to be able to coat the apples. And then the fun begins. Give the apple a slow twirl and then lift it up and let the caramel slide off, scraping the bottom of the apple against the pan. You don't want to skip this step or you're going to have a puddle of caramel apple underneath each one. Place each apple on the baking sheet that I've already coated with a little bit of cooking spray. You've got to work swiftly or the caramel will start to harden and then it will be very difficult to coat the apple. Don't lick your fingers if you're going to do this for anyone other than your family. Alright, once that stage is complete, you're going to pop them into the refrigerator for about 15 minutes, let them set. While you're waiting, get started on your royal icing. You'll need about a cup of confectioner's sugar, about a tablespoon of meringue powder, and a little bit of water to thin it out. Again, consistency is important here. You don't want it too thick that it's too hard to stir, but you don't want it too thin that it's runny like water. Add a little bit of black gel coloring and start to mix it up. This is going to be for Jack's face. If your icing gets a little bit too runny, just add a little bit more confectioner's sugar like I did to make it thicker. Now you get your plastic piping bag and cut off the tip. You can find these at any craft or baking supply store. Put in a number 3 tip, which basically draws a line. Now you're going to pour the royal icing into the piping bag. You can do this by tipping the bowl into it like I'm doing, or have someone hold it for you while you scrape the icing in. Twist the top of the bag and you're ready to draw. Time to take those caramel apples out of the fridge. Set them on your counter and start melting your white chocolate the same way that you did with the witch fingers. Add a little bit of coconut oil to thin it, place it in the microwave, and then melt it on low setting. While that's melting, here's a little trick. Take some cooking spray and spray your scissors. Then take each caramel apple and cut off the excess at the bottom if you want a nice, round, smooth apple. The scissors won't stick to the caramel, and you can feed the cut pieces to your family, if you're a good witch. Alright, it's time to check on your white chocolate. Give it a stir, make sure there's no lumps, and if there are, put it back in the microwave for about another minute at a time on low setting. Once it's smooth, you're ready to roll the apples. Look how beautiful. Just like you did with the caramel, you're going to want to scrape the apple against the side of the container and get some of that white chocolate off before you set it on the sheet. If you find it's too runny and it's coming off of the apple too quickly, wait for it to cool for just a minute before trying again. Now you're ready to pipe Jack Skellington's face onto the apple. I suggest pulling up some images of Jack Skellington's face from the internet to have a look at and have nearby for reference while you're doing this. For the eyes, you don't need to pipe too much. Just pipe a little bit, then take a skewer and spread the icing out within the circle. This might take a little practice at the beginning. Don't lose patience. For the nose, you're going to want to do 2 little teardrops from the bottom upward. Then give him a big, wide smile. Don't forget those stitches. Do the same for the other apples, and have fun with it. Give them different faces. My icing came out a little runny for my taste, but they didn't come out too bad. All right, everybody, so there you have it. So for your next Halloween party, you have your sweet and salty pretzel witch fingers and your whimsical Jack Skellington caramel apples. So does anybody want to try?
Yes. Yummy.
All right, everybody. So until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content, if you want to see me make something else in time for Halloween. Until then, have a great and happy fall, and I'll see you next time. Take care.